Hello and welcome. I'm really excited about today's project because I'm talking about night anxiety. This is something I'm passionate about because when I was suffering from GAD, generalized anxiety disorder, I was waking up at 12, at 2, in a sweat, in a panic, heart palpitation, racing hard, confused. I was pacing back and forth. Sometimes I would go down to the kitchen and try and eat something. I would sometimes call upon my family for reassurance. A lot was happening at night. So it's really important that we talk about what's happening underneath the surface. How do we approach the evening so that we can get a better sleep next time? Right? What's going on in our unconscious mind that's waking us up and keeping us up? Well, three things. The first thing is that there's too many things happening in your life right now. Too many unresolved problems, relationship problems, new job, or you might have quit or got fired, or you're moving, or you're going on a trip, there's an event or a promotion. Things are happening, right? Too many things you're contending with. Yeah, of course that's going to keep you up, right? Too many unresolved problems. Or there could be one event coming up, one event that is causing some emotional distress. Too many unknowns in that event, right? You can look at it like there is there's a hybrid of sub-concerns in that event, right? The event in your mind's eye is like causing you that pain and suffering because anything that pops up in your goal-directed behavior will produce negative emotion, right? So the event serves as an obstacle, right? Any obstacle that is impeding your progression forward is going to cause pain. So when you view that in your mind, what your body's really doing is saying, oh, there's many snakes within that hybrid, right? It's a hybrid of like 10 different things. What if I show up late? What if I have a panic attack? What if I lose control during the event? What if I make a fool out of myself at the event? What if I do this? What if I do that? There's a lot of things in that event. So that's the second thing. The third thing is there might be one traumatic event or maybe several traumatic events from your past that are still plaguing you, right? So maybe something happened to you. Maybe when you were a child, something happened to you. Maybe something happened to you last week that was traumatic. Maybe you got ill. Maybe you got into an accident. Maybe you got into a fight. Something traumatic happened to you. Or something traumatic happened to you when you were a child and that it's still haunting you. And let's get into that because this is the heart of this video and the heart of why you're suffering from night anxiety. When you are lying in bed and you're drifting off to sleep, what's happening is you're moving from a beta brainwave state. So the beta brainwave state is alert, awake. You're moving from this awake state into a theta brainwave state, and that's when you're drifting off into a meditation. That's when you're drifting into sleep. And then when you're really in a deep sleep, that's delta. And so when you're moving into these different brainwave states, what's happening is your unconscious mind is opening up. Your unconscious mind there's a flow of energy, information happening in your body, in your brain. It's like a great metaphor. Recess. I think that's a great one. Sending the kids out of the classroom, out into out from the thinking and really stimulating environment to this play, right? And that's what's really happening is that all of the traumas, all of those unresolved problems, it's like they have a freedom to come up, because what the brain is doing is it wants to make everything that is low resolution into high resolution. Everything that's distorted or things that haven't been resolved or confronted, that comes up so that the brain can fully flesh it out and make sense of what that is. And then you wake up in a panic because when the unconscious brings it up, it causes you emotional distress, it causes fear, and this shocks you and it wakes you up because you're reliving the event. You're reliving that emotion, right? And so it's going to keep you up. And I remember when I was suffering from my anxiety, there were nights where I couldn't even get to bed because I had different fears happening. First thing is, I was fearful of the unknown tomorrow because I had an event tomorrow, or going to work, and I was afraid of the unknown. What if I faint? And what if I have a panic attack? What if I have anxiety? All of these things, the hybrid of worries, you know. And then I was also afraid of going to bed and fearing the unknown while I was sleeping. I didn't want to wake up with that anxiety and that fear, right? So how you approach the evening is really important for recovery, okay? The first thing is that you want to build upon a relaxing a routine for the evening. So what you do is, before bed, I want you to spend an hour doing things that calm you down. Have a bath, light some incense, maybe read something, do some breathing exercises, meditation. This is so important. But more importantly, I think, is you want to write down everything that's inside that's worrying you. So if you're worried about an event tomorrow, I want you to write down, I'm going to wake up at this time, I'm going to get ready at this time, I'm going to leave at this time, I'm going to show up at this time. That's really important too. Writing down your schedule gets all of that cluster of worry out from the mind and organizes it, right? It's moving the disorder into order. I'm going to leave a link below and above of a meditation that you need to do every day so that you can manifest your desires. You manifest what you want to accomplish during the day, and this eases your anxiety. It sets you up. It's preparing for the dragon fight before the actual fight itself. This is really, really important for reducing anxiety. So make sure you check that out below. And then what you want to do is you want to write out all the negative thoughts that come to your mind. What if this happens? What if this happens? What if this happens? You want to confront the snakes onto the on the paper. You want to confront the truth, because it's worse up here than it is on the paper. Okay? So that's really important. But when it comes to trauma from your past, you want to reframe those traumatic memories. And what you're doing is you're attaching safety to those particular situations so that the body, so that your unconscious mind can release them, right? Because the reason why your unconscious is holding on to that trauma is because it hasn't fully fleshed it out and understood what happened back there, right? A part of you is still stuck in the past. You want to unstick yourself from the past. So you want to change the meaning behind the trauma so that your body can let it go. it's holding on to it because it has a reason to fear that particular event. So give it a reason not to fear that event. I will leave a link below to a releasing trauma exercise you can do, and I recommend that you start with a smaller trauma. Right? Don't go for this big trauma that you experienced when you were a child that was just it's just too much. Start with something smaller, right? I started with big traumas, but I recommend in this video that you don't do that. You might even want a coach. You might even want me to help guide you through that traumatic moment, which I do. I offer coaching sessions. So there's a link below to that as well. So if you want me to guide you through something that's really traumatic that has happened to you, then you want to sign up. But I'll leave a link to a meditation that you can do to release trauma, to reframe trauma, right? Another way to reframe trauma is to write down the experience in as much detail as possible. And then what you want to do is you want to write out what you learned from the experience. What you learned. Why is this experience a blessing? Why has it made you into a tougher person? Just change the meaning behind that experience. And a lot of that meaning changes when you just write out the trauma in detail so that your analytical, rational brain can really sort it out. And then the unconscious releases that eventually, the more you attach and change the meaning behind it. This is so crucial to healing. And this is where I'm going to leave you on today's video. I was going to say podcast, but today's video. Thank you so much for being here with me. I'm so grateful that you're leaving your comments, that you're subscribing to the channel, because this is a recovery community. This is no coping channel. This is for reaching our higher selves. Rise above anxiety. I will see you on the next video. Bye for now. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and that bell so that whenever a new video of mine appears, you will be one of the first to know. Namaste.